We are back, baby. First day. I totally forgot to remind you guys, but it's day one, week two of the reverse diet. Whatever. I mean, yeah, that's what they call it. Reverse dieting. So the the biggest update is I can eat more calories, right? So it's this program that I'm trying. I found on what is it? DeepSeek. It's AI. So it's an AI generated program, and I'm trying it out just to see if it works. I have not hired a trainer. Technically, AI is being my trainer at this point. Um, I was basing my macros before based on the macro calculator that's on like macro calculator or whatever.com, and I did that for a little bit, and I just figured it would be easier on the AI just because I can ask it questions and it can answer me like, oh, like if I want to sub out a certain food, or maybe for fats I'm running out of things that I want to use to eat, so it can give me like faster responses as opposed to me trying to look it up and try and figure it out doing my own research. I'm gonna see how this works. I mean, so far it's been working pretty good because week one went well, except for, the minor hiccup yesterday. But I weighed in today, which is also pretty cool. I weighed in at 148 pounds and 12.8% body fat, which was a decrease from the last time I weighed in at 150 or 151, and it was at like 13.1. So I've been eating more, and I've been steadily losing weight. So I think the reverse diet is working out. I think AI knows what it's talking about. And I'm going to keep trusting it for now. And so the biggest update for now is I'm packing on an extra 150 calories. So I went from 1500 to 1700. That was the biggest jump. And now I'm jumping up to 1850, which is an extra 150 calories. The protein is staying the same at 150. The carbs is probably where most of it is going to. It went from 130 to 160, so 30 extra grams of carbs, and fats. Fats is going up to 60 grams. It was at 55, now it's going to 60. Although I think I may have been eating 60 grams or close to 60 grams, but now it's like for sure 60 grams, 160 grams of carbs, and 150 grams of protein, totaling out for 1,850 calories, which is nice because it gives me a little bit more room to eat stuff that is more tasty and not having to stick with such lean food with that's focused on protein and low calories. Not sure what those higher calorie count foods are going to be yet, as this is new to me because I haven't been able to do this in the past year or so. Everything that I've been eating the past year has been super lean cuts of meat, and just very, very I don't know, like not detail oriented, but just very strict on what it is that I could eat. But anyways, I digress. The first meal for today is 2 cans of chicken of the sea tuna, 50 grams of white rice, and 5 crackers. You can't see the third one here. There's 5 crackers here. So the 5 crackers is one serving, 50 grams of rice, and 2 cans of chicken of the sea tuna. That totals out for 70, and obviously some mustard for not just the visual effect, but also definitely for flavor. I love me some mustard. Oh, and I also did, you can't see it, but it's in the tuna. I put 3 tablespoons of low fat mayonnaise or light mayonnaise from the grocery store. So 3 tablespoons, or AKA for me, that I because I measured it, because I don't really trust the the tablespoons, because it's like, oh, some things say like, oh, like a flat or like a rounded tablespoon like at the top, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So it's just easier just to weigh it. So I weighed in 3 tablespoons is the equivalent to 45 grams. So I threw in 45 grams of mayonnaise into that tuna, mixed it all in, and I'm about to mix it in with some mustard also now. So that totals me out for 76 grams of protein, 52 grams of carbs, and 19 grams of fats, which is looking a little like this. So this is first meal of the day, and you know, I think that so what I tried to do is I tried to obviously have a little more protein in it today, just because yesterday I lacked protein for sure. I didn't have it nearly as much protein as I should have had for the day. So I definitely want to start off strong with protein today, and then I think lunchtime it should taper a little bit, and then by dinner it should be a pretty balanced dinner. But yeah, I mean, I think we're off to a good start. Day one, 1,850 calories. Pretty excited. The extra 200 calories have been done me well. I've been feeling a lot stronger. I've been feeling a little lighter for some reason. I'm not sure, but it's working. So we're gonna continue on this reverse dieting, and this phase is also going to be for a week. So this is 1 week of 1,850 calories, and we'll see next Sunday. I think next Sunday I'll bump it up to, I think, another 100 calories. But before we get there, we got to get through this week, and this week is 1,850. So first meal of the day, gonna hit the gym after this, and I will see you guys for meal number 2. Here we go. Meal number 2. Very excited to have my steak again. Uh, so here it is. Boom, baby. Steak, cheese, and rice. My signature dish. It's here we go. So it's 8 ounces of steak. We've got 80 grams of white rice, and we've got 45 grams of cheese. So I'm excited to have this again. This looks so delicious. Look at that. Um, and also, what I have been doing to the rice, just to give it some extra pizzazz. I don't know if I told you guys already, but I've been using this one. It's called The Blend. And then I just throw a little bit of that on top of the rice. It's salt, pepper, and garlic. 0 calories. Boom. Boom, baby. So here's meal number 2. Like I said, very excited to be eating my steak again. The seasoning is great. I figured out that leaving bigger pieces in the air fryer leaves the meat or the steak more tender and more juicy. I think I also mentioned that before already, but just in case you guys didn't know, if you put the pieces in the air fryer about this size, they'll still be pink on the inside. So that's a tip I wish I would have known, because I was cutting them almost like bite size, ready to eat size, and they would come out like really dry, and it wouldn't be um, there'd be no pink on the inside. I really like, like rare to medium rare steaks, so that just adds like flavor and like the juice and everything. And they weren't having that, so I started trying to experiment with the size, and I found that obviously the bigger the cut of the steaks, that are like the little mini cuts that I was putting in there, the juicier it would be. So that's a nice little tidbit of advice if you're looking to air fry some steak. And you know, just get an air fryer. Get an air fryer, get the app, and just track your stuff. Track your shit. Track your shit. Literally, it's probably like the biggest step I took, and it's been the easiest, right? Because I try to position things to be able for me to be able to do them. Like for this, it's like I I found an app that makes it super easy to be able to track. It's as easy as just scanning something. I mean, I do still get ads for it, but I'm not gonna pay for it. But it's just super easy. Just scan things, mark it, get a little scale. I know it can. I know this is probably the more annoying part is like weighing stuff. But if you can get past the weighing and tracking, then it's just going to become super easy. It changes. It's a game changer for sure because if you're not tracking and you're not weighing the stuff, you're not weighing it and you're not tracking what you weigh, then it kind of just becomes like, oh, I think, if I remember correctly, and then you keep doing that. You do that long enough, and you're bound to miss something. You're bound to miss a step. You're bound to miss a a weight on something, or something that maybe you didn't want to think about when you were eating it, like a chocolate or a I don't know, some sort of candy or whatever the case may be. You'll forget, and then you're like, oh, like it doesn't really count, it doesn't really matter. But you do that long enough, and they do add up. The net calories do add up. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're, if you whether you're trying to gain weight or whether you're trying to lose weight, just track it. And if you don't want to use the AI, you want to go more old school, just make sure you go on the website. It's like the macro calculator. They have that, which is what a lot of people use. But if you find that to be kind of like a time suck and you don't really want to do that, then just go to ChatGPT, go to Google, I mean, I've been using DeepSeek just because it's a little more. I don't know how to explain it. I find it to be better because I can just upload, like for this last one that I did, that this last like prompt that I had given it, I took a screenshot of the the macros that I have on here. I took a screenshot of this. I submit it to ChatGPT, or no, not ChatGPT. It was DeepSeek, and I told it, I was like, I'm a 30-year-old male weighing 150. These are my macros. Why am I plateauing? And it just spit out an answer, and then I just like asked it like, okay, like how can I fix it? And then it gave me another answer, and it was super easy, and I was able to figure it out that way, or am still figuring it out. But if you don't want to do that and you kind of just want to, you know, run the numbers on your own, then I suggest getting a macro calculator, or just jumping on your phone, going to the website, macro calculator on Google. There's a few of them that you can look at, but there's the first one is usually the one that I get, not the sponsored one, but it's just the first one on top. And then just track it that way. It's not difficult, and then I think that's really it. Just track your stuff. Maybe get a scale just to kind of know where you're at. For me, it's like 30-year-old male, 5'9", and uh, so I think you just really need those on the scale, and then the scale can kind of give you a more accurate reading of how much you weigh. The scale that I have gives me like body fat, water, muscle mass. I don't know how much I want to trust those, how accurate it is, but I mean, they they seem to be pretty accurate. I look up what like a if you look up what like a 20% body fat body looks like, and a 15 and a 10%. You look that up, and then I've been like kind of matching it to what I look like. It's pretty accurate from when I was 20 to 15 to now. I think I checked in this morning at 12.8. So it's been pretty accurate. You know, I'm sure there's more accurate ways, but that was the cheapest one that I could get my hands on. I'm not going to buy a second machine. I'm not going to do all the freaking little math, you know, like pinching here and pinching there. That just takes too long. Just give me an answer. I just want to know. And then the other one, I don't know. I didn't look for that. But the scale is nice because the scale just gives you everything. It gives you your weight, your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, even your water percentage in your body. So that's nice. You just give it a couple inputs and it shows you everything. But enough of that. Let's get this down the hatch. I'm ready to eat. But I will see you guys for meal number 3. Last but not least, meal of the day. Actually, it was probably the smallest meal of the day. I ended up it wasn't really a full meal, but I reached my macros for the day, and I got to my calories. I ended up going to the movies, to the theaters. Went to go watch episode 3. Pretty good. It was awesome. Watched it in theaters, but we ended up having Taco Bell chicken nuggets, which I hadn't had before, but apparently they're pretty solid with the calories and the protein. And what else? I had 2 nuggets. I was able to do the breakdown because on Taco Bell's website, they are, I don't know how to not macro friendly. Well, I guess the nuggets are macro friendly, but they were catering to the nutritional value of foods that people like myself like to look at. But there's like a chart on there for every like meal or every food that they have, and then you can put, you know, like the serving size, 1 or 2, and they tell you how much. So they have like the whole breakdown on there, so which is nice. But I had 2 nuggets for 134 calories, 14 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of fat, which is not bad. And I had 7 ounces of Cajun fries. That one is kind of tricky, kind of iffy, but I'm just going to stick with it because on the menu for the order of the Cajun fries, it said I think it was 700 calories. And I went on the Macro Tracker app and I looked for a Cajun calorie counter, and I found this one. I mean, they were all kind of the same. This is what the macros look like for it. But I looked at like 3 different ones, and they were off by like 1 or like maybe like 5 calories, like maybe 1 or 2 grams for all of them. So I just picked one, and on the menu it had that they were, for a full serving, it was, I think that one was 800 calories for a full serving. And I only needed about half. I had about 300 calories left, 350 calories left. So then I put it on here. I found that a whole pound equaled about 6, let's see, I'll show you guys right now. So yeah, so 16 ounces up top right here, 16 ounces, 16 servings, 1 ounce each, totaled to 800 calories. Right, it's not focusing, but if you pause it, you can see it. It's 800 calories for 16 ounces. So I kind of just, lowered the ounces on the app until I got to about 350 calories. And it was 7 ounces. So that was a little less than half of the actual serving. So I kind of just like looked at it, kind of just divided it in half, and then just ate, you know, almost one half and called it a night. That's how I ended up measuring that. So just use the resources that I had available to be able to track, and that's it. I mean, just did a little bit of math. Um, I had, what else did I have? I mean, just Coke Zero. Coke Zero is like the only drink that I had. I mean, water. Um, and that was it. But reached the macros for the night, 1875 calories, over by 25, not a big deal. Protein went over by 5 grams, also not a big deal. 155 grams of protein, 161 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat, which is not terrible. I feel good. Feeling kind of tired, but I can definitely see on my Whoop app that I'm definitely starting to burn more calories throughout the day. And it's been a week and a day that, you know, I've bumped up the calories from the cut that I was at 1500. So today was the first day that I had 1850 or 1875. And so for this week, we're going to have 1850 calories every day. So looking forward to that until I have to travel again, and that's going to be a whole mess. But I don't think it'll be a mess. I think as long as I can stick to it with the fast food, the friendly macro friendly fast food places, then I should be okay. And you know, like I've said before, that's just to show you guys that, you know, it is possible if you are putting in the effort and you're staying consistent and you're, you know, you're actually trying to do it, and you're not just saying that you're going to do it and you're just like, oh, I don't know, you just didn't try. Because if you wanted to, you can get it done. So that's my thing. It's like if you wanted to, you could. There's definitely plenty of resources, free resources that you can use to be able to get what you need, you know, especially like nutritional value. Um, Unless you live in like a desert, you know, and or just somewhere that there's no groceries, you don't have access to a scale, you don't have access to a smartphone. And then in that case, it's still just portion control. Just, you know, eat less. Eat less if you're looking to lose weight. Eat more if you're looking to gain weight. That's really it. But I'll, I think I could just show you guys the like the fries that I had, and then you guys can see. I'll put it up now, and then you guys can see, you know, the fries that I had, and that was the full serving. So I just split that in half, and my half, I wish I would have taken a picture of what I actually ate, but there was more people at the table, so I didn't want to, I don't know, didn't want to make it more weird. They were already questioning me why I was taking pictures of the food. I'm like, relax. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 of 1850 calories a day for the week. See you guys tomorrow.